The mansion's dark secret. She walked closer to the bed. Her hands were trembling. And then she saw it. His fingers moved. Just slightly. But they moved. The millionaire in a coma wasn't as unconscious as everyone thought. And what he whispered next would unravel a conspiracy that could destroy lives. Aria Sharma adjusted the collar of her crisp white nursing uniform and walked through the long, silent corridors of the Blackwood Estate in upstate New York. The marble floors echoed with every step she took, making her presence feel even more foreign in this frozen, lifeless mansion. Everything was polished, organized, spotless. Yet there was something suffocating about this place. Like the walls themselves were hiding secrets in their shadows. Suddenly, her eyes fell on Mrs. Helena, the head housekeeper, standing in front of her with the same emotionless expression she always wore. Without asking a single question, without saying an extra word, she simply pointed toward the grand staircase. "Mrs. Blackwood is waiting for you upstairs. Go now." Her voice wasn't a request. It was a cold command. Aria nodded and slowly began climbing the stairs. She had accepted this job willingly. A private nursing position in a wealthy estate. Good pay. Quiet work. But now, she was starting to realize this wasn't just a job. This place, its silence, its depths, there was something here that wasn't ordinary. When she reached the top, her gaze landed on Isabella Blackwood, sitting on a velvet chaise lounge near the tall window. Her slender fingers traced the rim of a wine glass, and her eyes studied Aria like a predator sizing up prey. There was no warmth in her face. Just cold calculation. As if she already knew who Aria was, why she was here, and how long she'd last. "So, you're the new nurse." Aria nodded silently. Isabella took a slow sip from her glass, then spoke without a trace of emotion. "Victor is in his room. Your job is only to take care of him. Don't ask questions. The questions grow deeper." Over the next few days, Aria noticed small signs. Victor wasn't completely unconscious. Sometimes when she spoke to him, he blinked. Sometimes his lips trembled. Sometimes his fingers tried to move. He was awake inside. He wanted to say something. To tell her about the danger. But what danger? And from whom? One night, while adjusting Victor's bed, her fingers brushed against something loose on the wooden headboard. A small section felt different. She pulled gently, and a hidden compartment opened. Her heart raced. Inside was an old, dust-covered diary. The cover was faded, the edges worn. But what was written on it made her blood run cold. Victor Blackwood. A dangerous truth. With trembling hands, Aria opened the first page. "Something is wrong. Richard Mercer has been acting strange lately, and Isabella keeps telling me to stop my investigation. But I can't ignore what I'm seeing. There are strange transactions in the company accounts. Money is disappearing. Isabella says I'm losing my mind. But I know I'm close to the truth." Aria's eyes widened. The pages shook in her hands. Victor had uncovered a deep conspiracy. And maybe that's why he was in this condition now. She turned the page. "If something happens to me, it won't be an accident." Her entire body went numb. Victor had known someone was going to hurt him. Someone tried to silence him. But who? Isabella? Richard Mercer? Or someone else? Before she could read further, she heard footsteps outside. Her mind raced. She quickly closed the diary and slid it under Victor's pillow. The door swung open. Her heart hammered in her chest. Isabella entered the room. Her eyes were as cold as ever, but this time, there was something else. Suspicion. "You look troubled, Aria. Is something wrong?" Aria forced a smile. "No, ma'am. Just adjusting Mr. Blackwood's position." Isabella paused for a moment, then walked forward with slow, deliberate steps. She leaned close to Victor's face. Aria watched as Victor's lips moved slightly, but she couldn't hear what he tried to say. His eyes flickered, but it was different this time. There was that same emptiness, but deep inside, something else was hidden. A silent fear. Isabella stared at Victor's face for a long moment, then slowly stepped back. There was something in her expression Aria couldn't quite understand. Satisfaction? Or something darker? "If you need anything, let me know." Isabella smiled, but it was a smile that sent chills down Aria's spine. The time to uncover the truth. As soon as the door closed, Aria exhaled deeply. "I need to read this entire diary." Victor's condition wasn't an accident. But if this was someone's conspiracy, who would be the next target? She needed help. Someone who understood what was happening inside this estate. Someone she could trust. The answer was Daniel Carter, the estate's loyal groundskeeper. The confrontation. That night, in the darkness, Aria met Daniel in the back gallery where no one could hear them. She told him everything she'd discovered. "I knew something was wrong." Mr. Blackwood never fully trusted Isabella. Daniel's voice was grave. But no one had the courage to oppose her. Aria hesitated, then asked, "There's a name that keeps appearing in the diary. Richard Mercer. Who is he?" Daniel's brow furrowed. "A big businessman from Manhattan." His relationship with Isabella was closer than anyone realized. Way closer. Mr. Blackwood always suspected something, but he never said anything openly. Daniel paused, then spoke softly. "But you need to be very careful. If Isabella even suspects that you've uncovered all this, you could be in danger too." The order of death. That night, Aria crept silently through the main corridor and hid outside the library. She could hear muffled voices from inside. She pressed her ear against the door. Isabella was on the phone with someone. "Aria is becoming a problem. I want this matter finished today." "Don't expect anything. He will never wake up." Victor Blackwood's mysterious room. Victor Blackwood's room was in the most isolated part of the estate. As Aria reached the door, she could hear the faint beeping of machines from inside. She took a deep breath and gently pushed open the heavy wooden door. The moment she stepped in, a chill ran through her. Not just from the temperature, but from the atmosphere itself. Victor lay on a large bed covered in white sheets. His eyes were open, staring blankly at the ceiling, as if he were looking at something invisible. Machines surrounded him, monitoring his pulse, his breathing. But despite all the equipment, there was an unnatural stillness in the room. A silence that felt wrong. Aria moved closer, her hands shaking slightly as she straightened the bedsheet and gently touched his wrist to check his pulse. But the moment her fingers brushed against his hand, she felt it. His fingers twitched. Her heart started pounding. Did I really just see that? Or was it my imagination? She stared at Victor's face, but there was no change. The same blank stare. The same motionless expression. Maybe she was overthinking. But then, a whisper. So soft, it was hard to tell if it was the wind or a voice. Danger. A cold wave shot through her body. She immediately looked at Victor's face. His lips had moved. This wasn't her imagination. Victor was trying to say something. He wasn't just some unconscious patient. He was warning her. At that exact moment, there was a soft rustling sound near the door. Aria turned quickly. A black cat with piercing yellow eyes sat near the doorway, staring at her. There was something strange about its gaze. Like it knew everything. Like it was hiding a secret. No more delays. Aria's blood ran cold. She's going to kill me. The end of the conspiracy. Suddenly, the door burst open. Isabella and Richard stormed in. Behind them stood two large, intimidating men. Well, Aria, Isabella said with a sneer. Richard gestured to his thugs. They stepped forward, raising their hands. Hands up. It was Daniel, standing at the door. And with him, police officers. Isabella's face turned white. It's over, Isabella. Daniel's voice was ice cold. But the game wasn't over yet. Weeks later, Victor's recovery began. But one night, when everything seemed normal, Aria heard Victor's voice. Calm. Certain. This isn't over yet. At that exact moment, the office phone rang. Daniel picked it up. On the other end, an unknown, heavy voice whispered. You think you've won? This game isn't finished. Aria and Victor looked at each other. The danger was still lurking. Conclusion. Sometimes, the truth is buried deep beneath layers of lies. And sometimes, the people closest to us are the ones hiding the darkest secrets. Victor Blackwood survived. The conspiracy was exposed. But in the shadows of the Blackwood Estate, one question still remained. Who else was involved? And would they strike again? The mansion's secrets were far from over. If this story gave you chills, hit that like button right now. Drop a comment below and tell me, do you think the danger is really over? Or is someone still watching from the shadows? And if you want more thrilling, edge-of-your-seat stories like this one, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss the next mystery. Because the next story might be even darker. See you in the next one. Stay safe. And remember, not everything is what it seems.